Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Arlington National Cemetery Southern Expansion Project Industry Day. This presentation is intended to provide you information about the upcoming Southern Expansion construction project. The outcomes of this presentation should provide you with a better understanding of the extent and limits of work for the Southern Expansion. Please note that the images and descriptions being presented today are not the final plans or documents issued for construction. At the end of this presentation, you will have the opportunity to ask questions. First off, a little bit about myself. My name is Greg Schwederman. I work for HNTB. I'm the project manager for the Southern Expansion Project, and we work directly for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. I've been working on the Southern Expansion since 2014. It has been my honor to lead a team of civil engineers, architects, planners, and other specialty disciplines to realize the design of this transformative project. This project would not have been possible without the leadership of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, Arlington National Cemetery, and Federal Highways. Our team and our DAR counterparts at Kinley Horn have spent many a late night and early morning developing and coordinating these designs. We've spent endless hours coordinating with Air Force District Washington, the Virginia Department of Transportation, Arlington County, the Pentagon Memorial Fund, Foxcroft Heights Neighborhood Association, Joint Base Meyer-Henderson Hall, the U.S. Commission of Fine Arts, National Capital Planning Commission, the EPA, private and public utility companies, Washington Headquarters Services, and many, many others. It has been a hard road to get here, and we're really excited to share this project with you today. To better describe the project, I have sorted and labeled it into digestible pieces. First off, we have broken it up into two major geographic areas. The cemetery expansion area is land contiguous to the existing cemetery to be used for burials and includes the integration of the existing Air Force Memorial with a total of 54 acres. The south parcel, land south of Columbia Pike, provides operational support for both Arlington National Cemetery and the Air Force Memorial and has a total of 9 acres. Let's start with the south parcel. The south parcel is broken into 3 sub-areas: the operations complex, the parking garage, and the access control point. The operations complex is a collection of buildings to support the burial and maintenance operations for the cemetery. Arlington National Cemetery is an active cemetery with between 27 and 30 funeral services each weekday and between 6 and 8 services on Saturday. This operations complex is connected to the cemetery via a tunnel underneath Columbia Pike constructed by the Defense Access Road. The parking garage provides parking for Arlington National Cemetery staff, Air Force Memorial staff, and visitors to both Arlington National Cemetery and the Air Force Memorial. And the access control point provides a secure area for Arlington National Cemetery to screen all vehicles entering the south parcel. Before we jump in, I went back and borrowed 2 great images from Bill's Defense Access Road presentation to give you a sense of the site work that will be completed by the Defense Access Road project. The existing condition on the south parcel will be a pad-ready site with retaining walls around the perimeter of the west end. The upper right-hand image is not the project site, but gives a sense of what the site could look like at the completion of the Defense Access Road project. Here, you get a sense for how the operations complex is constructed. It's lower than the adjacent Columbia Pike thanks to the excavation completed by the Defense Access Road project, and the complex is comprised of 4 major buildings and several smaller ancillary buildings. I will walk you through each of the 4 major buildings, starting here with the office building and working our way counterclockwise to the maintenance building, the material storage building, and ending on the warehouse building. It's also important to note here that there will be an above-ground tank for a fueling area within the hub of the courtyard. The office building is a 2-story building and serves as the main personnel hub. It is 23,000 square feet, type 2 construction with a sprinkler system. On the ground floor, there is the main break room with adjacent outdoor patio space, men's and women's locker rooms, office space, and mechanical, communication, and electrical spaces. On the second floor, you will find office space, conference spaces, as well as the G3 security space. The maintenance building along Columbia Pike is 22,000 square feet with a sprinkler system. It is type 2 construction. It includes vehicle repair bays, welding shop, carpentry shop, and tool storage. The building is earth covered and landscaped to screen it from Columbia Pike. The material storage building is 14,000 square feet of Type 2 construction with a sprinkler system to store sand, soil, salt, and brine, as well as vehicles. It includes an equipment wash bay. The final building we will look at here at the operations complex is the warehouse. It's the largest building at 26,000 square feet. It's also Type 2 construction with a sprinkler system. It includes standard warehouse space with a loading dock, a paint shop, more vehicle storage, and a car wash for staff government-owned vehicles. Now that we've completed the operations complex, we'll move to the parking garage. The parking garage is a 3-story terraced garage with 260 spaces. It's a cast-in-place concrete post-tension structural system. The lower area will be used by Arlington National Cemetery staff, and the upper 2 levels will be used by the Air Force Memorial and Arlington National Cemetery visitors. Here is the top level of the garage where visitors can exit at grade to access the Columbia Pike crosswalk, connecting the south parcel to the cemetery expansion. The garage pavilion you see here provides a secure perimeter, a threshold for visitors to the cemetery and Air Force Memorial, as well as houses the elevator and stair tower. The third and final area is the access control point, providing ANC the ability to screen all visitors to the south parcel. Here's a great aerial view that shows the access control point. Here you can see where the commercial vehicles and vehicles accessing the operations complex are screened. Here is the smaller booth that's used to screen vehicles that are accessing the parking garage. It is a one-way circulation. Vehicles enter off of South Joy Street, and all vehicles exit onto Columbia Pike. Another good view, or another good aspect, I guess, of this view is you can start to see the significant grade from the top of that hill to the bottom. You're looking at approximately 100 feet from the bluff all the way down here to the bottom near Sheridan Gate. All right, let's move on to the cemetery expansion area north of Columbia Pike. We've broken the cemetery expansion down to 3 sub-areas as well. The new entry Air Force Memorial space, the Columbarium space, as well as the in-ground interment area. We'll start now with the new entry and Air Force area. Here is the current Air Force Memorial entry. It's accessed by vehicle and is surrounded by vacant land and public roads. The Southern Expansion Project will integrate the Air Force Memorial with the new cemetery expansion and eliminate vehicle access for the general public. A new pedestrian screening facility will be provided along Columbia Pike. And here is the new proposed pedestrian entry building and the Air Force Memorial entry. It's not intended to replace Memorial Avenue as the main entry, but rather provide an alternative entry for families visiting loved ones and people visiting the Air Force Memorial. The new entry facility is a modest 1,800 square feet Type 2B construction and is not sprinklered. It will provide screening only and include government-furnished magnetometers. After passing through the pedestrian access building, visitors are greeted by a gracious plaza shaded by trees with the seals of the armed forces on the right and a large granite bench on the left. If we hop to the other side of the wall with the military seals, we see the new Air Force Memorial Drive with the parking removed and landscaping in its place. The wall here on the left is actually made up of existing stones that were disassembled and reconfigured and reassembled to recreate the pioneer quotes for the Air Force. We'll show you more on this detail in a bit. Here's a photo taken from the same location of the existing conditions. Here's a view looking south from the north end of the Air Force Memorial as it exists today. And here is an artist rendering of what the Air Force Memorial would look like from that same location. Here again, you'll notice the wall has been rebuilt. The wall on the left-hand side here is the dedication wall that currently faces Columbia Pike that will be disassembled and rebuilt of the same stone in this new location. So these will be the last two slides for the Air Force Memorial. Here you can see in the distance that black wall. You can't see it that well in the distance, but that black wall actually has the 3 pioneer quotes engraved in it, and they are engraved in a horizontal sequence across. And here you see the new configuration of the 3 quotes in a stacked layout. Now, off in the distance, you can see our seamless transition and rhythm of the new columbarium. Let's go there next. So now we're going to leave the Air Force Memorial and Entry area and move into the columbarium area. So the last slide, we were standing about here, looking down this street at the columbarium. The next few slides we're going to look at, you're going to get a view inside of the southernmost columbarium. You're going to get a great view down this main access with the Air Force Memorial, and then we're going to take a more intimate view within the columbarium complex. Once we complete those, we're going to take a look at the restroom storage building and then finish with the centerpiece of the columbarium, which is the committal shelter. Here you can see the typical columbarium on the far south side. All the columbaria are precast concrete niches supported by strip footings and clad in Chelmsford granite. In the project overall, there are approximately 36,000 niches. Integrating the Air Force Memorial in our design has really afforded us a great opportunity for some of these beautiful views. Here you can see how we have aligned the access to the Air Force Memorial with the main circulation for the columbarium complex. Once you step off the main circulation path into the columbarium courts, the spaces become more intimate and suitable for reflection. All areas within the columbarium complex are granite pavers with granite cobbles in front of the actual columbarium. Centrally located is a dignified restroom and storage facility. This too is clad in Chelmsford with a colonnade facing the public side. 2 bathrooms can be accessed from the east side, and there are 3 small overhead doors along with a man door facing the street for cemetery use. Also centrally located is the committal shelter. This serves as the focal point for burial ceremonies. Clad in Chelmsford granite, the committal shelter includes an oculus and is placed in the landscape to provide a distinguished access from the cemetery roadway network. It also provides views for family and loved ones of the ceremonial firing party and lone bugler. We'll conclude the columbarium portion of the presentation with an overview of the columbarium complex that includes the storage and restroom building and the committal shelter. The in-ground interment area is the third and final area we will cover today. These areas require detailed fine grading, engineered soil throughout, good drainage, and a high level of landscaping more akin to a golf course. A majority of the area will be used for in-ground cremated remains, approximately 37,000. So here are 3 areas: the existing burial site, the preset crypt areas, and the Sheridan grate that we're going to go into a bit more detail on. Along the southern edge of the cemetery, there's an existing boundary wall that will need to be demolished to make a seamless transition from the old cemetery to the new expansion area. Stones that can be salvaged will need to be stored for future use by Arlington National Cemetery. You'll note here, adjacent to that boundary wall, there is an existing interment section that will need to be protected and access will need to be maintained. It should be noted, the closer we get to the cemetery, we need to be mindful of the sensitivities of operating construction with an operational cemetery. This is a view looking west towards the Air Force Memorial. On the left are cremated remains, and on the right are preset crypts. There will be 2 preset crypt sections requiring the installation of crypts along with the under drainage system. There are approximately 13,000 preset crypts in the project. Here are some typical details for how these crypts are laid out, side by side, on gravel, with under drains, and covered with engineered soil. A great view of the interment area to the east of the Air Force Memorial. Note here the attention that was paid to the grading. You're within the cemetery, looking south towards Columbia Pike. But with the grading done here, we've screened the roadway from the cemetery through the use of the undulation of landscape and trees. Just in the distance, you get a glimpse of the top of Sheridan Gate. Sheridan Gate is an original gate from Arlington National Cemetery that was taken down during a much earlier expansion project. It was built using the old War Department columns. Arlington National Cemetery has completed the restoration of materials, but the assembly, construction, and supporting structure will be the responsibility of the Southern expansion contractor. The reassembled, reconstructed gate is going to be placed within the cemetery facing the South Joyce Street intersection with Columbia Pike. So there you have it, the Southern Expansion Project. I want to end by thanking everyone who worked so hard to get us here. This will be a project that completely transforms this landscape. It's going to connect the cemetery, the Air Force Memorial, the Pentagon, and the Pentagon Memorial into one monumental space, tied together with a state-of-the-art multimodal corridor. We appreciate all of you attending today and look forward to hearing all of your questions. Thank you.